Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to be talking about some essential mods that I think you need for The Sims 2. Some of these are things that kind of just work in the background. Some of these are fixes to problems. Most of them are from the More Awesome Than You website. There are places on the internet that you can find more information about these provided other than what I'm going to be sharing with you, as well as the stuff that they post in the forum threads for More Awesome Than You on these mods. Those aren't really super descriptive. The readmes are also not really super descriptive. If you Google them, you will find a lot more information. The community has done a lot of great work putting all this out there on Tumblr and whatever. First, we have the lot debugger. This is one of the most essential things. It's called the Bat Box, if you guys have heard about it, because typically it looks like a box with the Batman symbol on it. I have a version of it that looks like one of the little flower vases in game. You can find it in miscellaneous in buy mode. It is cheap or free. I wasn't paying attention to the cost. I don't typically have this hanging around on my lots. You can without problems though, as it is supposed to fix various issues going on with your game. Some of these are kind of like having testing cheats on, but you're not having testing cheats on. So you're not going to get a bunch of errors showing up like the little error dialog boxes. In fact, you can actually reset Sims by using this. This is what's called force error, because The Sims 2 does not have a reset sim cheat. You're going to want to force error if your Sims are stuck or if they're in a loop. I had a jump bug going on in my game, specifically when I would try to get two Sims to interact with each other, and I realized that it was because I had a mod in my game that stopped roaches from spawning, but I don't think it actually stopped roaches from spawning. It just made them invisible or something. If you have random little issues like that and you do force an error, or if an error dialog box does show up with information, you can take that log and you can run it through what caused this. This is a third-party program that is available. You can find it on the internet. I will leave the direct link to what caused this in the description for you guys to grab as well. That's only for error logs. It doesn't do crash logs. Next, we have Sim Blender. This looks like one of the ficuses that's in game. Again, you can find it in miscellaneous in buy mode. It is 10 simoleons. I like this a lot. It is a cheaty thing. You can use it to cheat relationships. You can use it to have your Sims become pregnant with another Sim or with aliens. You can have them get careers through this instead of having to gamble with the newspaper or the online job finder. You can change aspiration. You can change appearance. You can change their body weight. You can do so many different things with this, including aging your Sims up or down. Similar to how you would use the Elixir of Life, where it would give your Sims or your pets 3 more days added on, like it would make them 3 days younger, or it would make them 3 days older if they're using it in low aspiration. You can do that with Sim Blender by manually choosing to make 3 days younger or older. You can also directly age babies up. I love doing this because the baby life stage is so boring. Speaking of babies, I do have an honorable mention mod. However, after the Sim Blender, which I only really just touched the bare surface of, we have a networking friend and open for business networking job fix that is out by Midge the Tree on Tumblr. It fixes a bug where sometimes if you get a networking pop-up, the Sim that is asking to add another Sim to your contacts, i.e. relationship panel, might choose a Sim that's not necessarily safe to do this with, like for example Santa Claus or the Hula Zombies, as those are universal NPCs and I don't think that they play nice with that sort of thing. I have not seen this pop up in a very long time. I don't know if it's because I have this mod, but it basically just cleans up some of the coding in the game for who the Sim chooses to connect you with. The next two, in my opinion, go hand in hand and they are absolutely needed. They're both from More Awesome Than You and they are both things that kind of run in the background. The first one is No Unlink on Delete and the second one is No Corrupt Death. No Unlink on Delete fixes an issue regarding resurrection. If you delete a tombstone, it unlinks that from the Sim, and I believe like you can't reliably get the Sim back from resurrecting them with the Resurrectonometron. That way, after doing this, if you do not have this mod, you do need this mod. If you delete the tombstone, it will not be connected with the Sim anymore, meaning you will essentially lose that Sim and it will be very difficult to resurrect them. And if you do resurrect them, I believe that they come back back as corrupted. However, having this keeps the two together. So if you delete the tombstone, your sim file data is still there. The Resurrectonometron can pull from it and you can safely resurrect your sim that way. The second one is no corrupt death. This is in regards to the squiggly lines that you can sometimes see with gossip. You can also clean this up a bit if you use the bat box or the lot debugger, whatever you want to call it, by selecting the option clean up gossip or something like that. It will, I think, ask you to choose like which sim. It has to do with memories and deaths and things, because sometimes death can become corrupt if a sim dies. I don't know much about this. I only know what I am kind of touching upon here in this video. Again, there's more information about this on the More Awesome Than You thread where this fix was put out, as well as other places on the internet. Honorable mention mods are Paint Faster, which is exactly what it sounds like. It makes your sims paint faster. It takes the amount of time that they paint and it cuts it down a lot. I have default replacement paintings in my game. I got them from, I believe, Peppermint and Ginger on Tumblr. They are all beautiful. So that is what you are seeing Shayna Goth paint right now in this clip. She is Alexander Goth's 8th child. She has a twin named David. Anyway, the other mod that I have is No Rotating Pet Bowls. This is by EpiSims on Tumblr. I love this. If you haven't noticed, sometimes when you have pets and you feed them food, their bowls will rotate occasionally and you won't realize it until you go into buy mode and pick the bowl up, and you'll see that the little arrow, which is supposed to be the front facing part of the item, is against the wall, meaning that the pets can't get to it. This mod stops that from happening, and I love it for that. Finally, I talked about babies earlier. We have no baby harassment. This is on More Awesome Than You. I believe it's by Pescato. I think this is absolutely necessary. I don't know about you guys, but my sims are obsessed with their babies and toddlers to the point where they hold them, and their babies and toddlers are suffering motive decay, and it's just really quite awful. This does not make it so your sims or the nanny ignore the babies. I don't play with butlers, but I do play with nannies. Like, I have all my sims hire nannies because I'm afraid of social services. If the toddler or the baby is in like motive failure or something, they will take the time to pay attention to them and deal with that. Typically, though, it's just really more to leave the baby alone and let them sleep, as the baby life stage is only 3 days in the game. But I usually like to age the babies up prematurely with the Sim Blender because I am sick of the baby stage and I want to work on their skills as toddlers. There are so many mods out there with The Sims 2. It is insane because this game has been out for over 20 years at this point, and the community just keeps making more and more custom content and more mods. I know that there are integral things that I have not covered in this video, so if you guys have any that you want me to talk about or any suggestions for mods, leave them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it a little helpful. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.